Hello there, and welcome back to this week's episode of A Talk of the Clones, where we will be discussing the new episode, Decommissioned, where our fabulous NAB batch go ahead into a droid decommissioning factory to nab a head of a tactical droid. But before we start, we wanted to give a little shout out to some of our faithful listeners. Angel, take it away.
Alrighty, I am Angel. You may know me from various shady parts of South Florida. We've definitely started a new leaf, folks. We are now a successful podcaster who speaks in plurals as if I have multiple personalities. And I would like to take this opportunity to shout out the wonderful Joshua Barhemoth, one of our greatest listeners, a fantastic gentleman, an esteemed lover of Star Wars, a passionate man. Thank you very much for listening into the podcast. You are a treasured listener, and we hope to not disappoint you in our coming episodes.
I want to go ahead and say thank you to Nick, who helped us with this week's pun, because I could not figure it out. Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
Nick. That is some solid work. We need these puns. We got to keep these puns going. That was another A1 pun right there. Thank you very much.
So this episode was absolutely beautiful to watch.
Gorgeous.
The team at LucasArts has come out and said that this was the most technically complex episodes that they have ever done, from like all of the Clone Wars and all the episodes in the Bad Batch. Everything from like the lighting to the design and concept of the droid facility was very hard to do, and they're very proud of this. It was very nice to watch.
I mean, it definitely was complicated with all the moving parts.
All the action going on and so many like different characters that we're following now. It was great.
There's lots of firefights. There's lots of running around, people jumping, rolling.
Yeah, I mean, this episode looked like it was a set piece out of a movie, right? It looked wild. I mean, this thing had so much movement, Jamie. I agree with you, dude. This thing was like all over the place. We were following these guys. There was tons of quick cuts, so many moving parts, all the droids, like literally moving parts. It was great, man.
And then we have Destroyer off in the corner, having his concussed episode.
Hitting his head.
The decommissioner himself was just, I'm telling you, his football play. I'm not gonna gloat, but if you're a faithful listener, you saw this one coming with your boy Angel. All right.
I'm just hella confused why he hasn't mentioned it.
Why he hasn't mentioned it? Record?
Yeah, why hasn't he mentioned it to anyone else? Like, hey guys, like something concerning may have happened.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that it's maybe he's not he probably can't recall it clearly, maybe, or it could be like a zombie movie type scenario where it's like, oh, it's happening, but it's not happening. I'm just gonna ignore it, and nothing's gonna go.
I mean, it's also like, how often do whenever you're in a group of people and something like that were to happen, like, wouldn't you feel bad? Yeah, like if you got your zombie reference is perfect. Like if you get the zombie bite, you don't want the rest of your group to know, because that they'll want to kill you. Not that the Bad Batch would kill him, but
yeah, no, absolutely. Poor decommissioner, poor guy. He just played too many years of college football, and it just did a number on the guy. Hell of a linebacker, but was it worth it? Was it worth it, decommissioner? Look at you now.
I mean, he can't even finish most of his plays, so he's getting knocked out by somebody.
Aw.
They were hinting, like they were like really like laying it on us with the inhibitor chip scenario, but my man's been getting his head pummeled like the last 3 episodes. This guy's just been getting like wrecked every single time. The crash.
They should put some extra padding in his helmet, because holy crap,
yeah, man, they gotta put one of those like those cushioned helmets on this guy, because he was taking Rancor punches to the face. Yeah, it's a baby, but still a Rancor,
Also, speaking of our sweet Empress Muchi, it's confirmed that she is in fact the Rancor that Luke Skywalker kills in episode 7.
Oh shit!
Episode 6. I'm sorry.
That's 2 for 2 from last episode.
Yeah.
Angel's got one and I've got one.
That's right. We're waiting on one of Julie's dunks over here. One of these snipes from a distance. One of your early predictions. Let's see if they pan out. I'll tell you right now, Luke is a bastard. Fuck Luke Skywalker.
We're reserving that for the end.
That's right. The Empire did nothing wrong. Reddit, where are you? No, I'm kidding.
Let's start from the beginning. The first scene with Echo and Omega learning to use the boat was absolutely hilarious. I love the 2 little hecklers that was in there with her and her trying to hit the target, but it does bring about the fact that a lot of people are upset about Omega because they aren't exactly raising her as a kid should be. But like, remember, these guys were raised to be soldiers, and they were like not naturally born either. So they're raising her the only way they know how to raise her, which is to become a soldier herself. And granted, now that they're being hunted, or she's being hunted in particular by like bounty hunters, it's extra pertinent that she learns how to defend herself.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, leaving her behind hasn't seemed to work, because remember, they left her behind in the last episode and the slavers still came for her. So this is one of those, like, you know, what do we do as this kid? We have to, like, take her with us because she's getting in all sorts of trouble. Doesn't matter what they do with her.
Damned if they do, damned if they don't.
And Sid's hilarious. The Batch are officially mercenaries for hire.
Officially. Yeah.
I thought she was kind of a bitch whenever she was like, you need to work out those scrawny little arms.
She was right, though.
Yeah, but
It's
like,
that tough love, man.
So there's a funny thing about that scene. When Sid goes to debrief the Bad Batch on the mission, and she starts talking about, I think it's a droid decommissioning facility that she starts talking about. And then if you see Tech in the background, he freaks out and he pushes Hunter and Echo out of the way to start like saying, "Oh, I know this information." She's like, shut up. It's hysterical.
Yeah, dude.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because you know how they're all kind of like all fucked up clones in some way or another. What if he's actually like neurodivergent to an extent?
That's a possibility. I've definitely been around quite a few more people recently who are neurodivergent. And I think that would be an interesting characterization for him. I think it would be an interesting thing to add because, you know, neurodivergent people are regular people too, right? Like I said, I think it's always amazing whenever you have some degree of representation for people, because then people feel included. They feel like they're part of the big story. You know, they can point to that one character and be like, "Hey, look, that's like me. He's a badass."
Yeah.
You know, he's out here doing it big on the big screen, or in this case, on the big Disney Plus screen. Yeah, it's always nice. I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm glad that Disney hasn't backed down with like them being more exclusive in terms of the Star Wars universe, because they tend to get a lot of pushback whenever they introduce a new character, whether it be a race or kind of like when they introduce Rose.
Yeah, Rose Tico.
Finn also got the same
Fish
pushbacks.
yeah,
so
Fish.
it's just
call
kind
him
of
Fish.
like,
Finn.
and then
Finn did in fact get the same. He got a pretty nasty reception, to say the least.
same-sex kiss that was in the end of episode 9, even though they did cut it out of a few countries' versions of it. But, you know, we're
John
getting
Cena
there little
can't
by
name
little.
which countries they got cut out from. So John Cena is going to take a backseat this episode. He was going to be a guest. He politely declined. Doesn't want to be on the pod tonight. Don't worry, John. We understand. We understand. You're just looking out for your career, brother. There's always going to be like this initial sort of pushback. And I don't know, I guess I'm at a point in my life where I'm old enough to kind of see these patterns in Star Wars. And I think that Star Wars is really good at drawing in new generations of people to love the franchise. And for some of us older fans, there's probably a decent chance that a lot of older fans haven't realized that there's a generation of Star Wars fans whose their Star Wars movies isn't even the movies. It's probably just the Clone Wars animated series. And that to them is Star Wars,
Yeah.
prime peak Star Wars, right? I mean, to me, my Star Wars is the prequels, right? That's the one that was out when I was a kid. Even though I saw the original trilogy before I saw the prequels on VHS, the one that was for us, it was that one. It was the prequels, right? So we didn't hate it when it came out. We thought it was awesome. We thought it was amazing. And that's just kind of how it is.
I don't know. There's a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of
they
people that
hated
hate Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar, but they were significant.
I loved
Exactly.
Jar Jar
I was a
when it
little
came out.
9-year-old little baby kid. I saw Jar Jar. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was an absolute trip. And I was a kid. And guess what? Look, go figure. George Lucas said, "Hey, I'm going to make a character for kids," and the kids loved them. What a surprise. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, oh man, this guy's hard to watch. But you know, it worked on me when I was a kid.
He's definitely calmed down in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they did. They toned them down a little bit. I think that's always going to be a factor with Star Wars. I think it's a pattern that we see, that there's always a little bit of resistance to the new stuff, but people tend to come around. I think you give them enough time.
When new generation Star Wars comes around, the older generation gets
it
angry.
happens. It's a cycle. It's the circle of life.
I myself was very angry when the Clone Wars came out, like the animated series. I absolutely loathed Ashoka, and like once like the hatred of youth has faded now that I'm a little bit older and just can't bring myself to give a little shit. Her character arc and character development was
dope.
absolutely phenomenal, and now I just kind of like, okay, Disney, give me anything I want to watch other than a new sequel, because
I think there's a value in being receptive to it, giving it the benefit of the doubt, because nothing is really perfect, especially when it comes to Star Wars. I'm a pretty big lover of Star Wars, but I'm not by no means blind to the flaws of the franchise. And let me tell you, if you sit down with me and you start picking apart Star Wars, I'm gonna pick apart every single thing that you love about Star Wars, and I'm gonna show you, hey, this is kind of bad, this is kind of stupid. You want to talk about plot inconsistencies and not planning out the sequels or over planning the prequels? Well, in the original trilogy, the sacred original trilogy, we had a guy kiss his sister, and then the next movie it wasn't even a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That was one movie later. So let's think about that for a second, right? Star Wars has always been messy. It's always been a bit of a mess, but I think that it adds to the overall magic and the experience of the franchise, because what's so good about Star Wars is so good that the bad kind of just like, doesn't matter as much.
Speaking of a little bit of a mess, this episode reintroduced the Dumb and Dumber of the Star Wars galaxies, or Star Wars universe, I would say.
Oh,
Trace and Rafa.
They were not popular in the Bad Batch. No, I'm sorry, the Clone Wars final season.
No. Yeah, even I was one of those. I was like, I'm not, like, it's okay. Like, I like Rafa because she is a character with a very questionable moral compass. But I was like, why all the episodes and all the arcs that we know that were incompleted, why did we get this arc with Trace and Rafa? Like, this didn't make sense. And now that they brought them back to, the Bad Batch and like that one scene at the end, now it just makes much more sense. So we're definitely going to get a lot more Trace
Little did we
and
know
Rafa.
they were going to come back in a different factor. And here's my question, guys. Not to cut to the end of the episode, but what's with that little ending, huh? And now hear me out. I think that that it's a little bit of a misdirect. I think that they kind of tried to make it look suspicious, but it's probably not. I don't know why. I just didn't buy it. I don't know why. Like, you think that maybe Rafa kind of like double crossed them or something?
Like the misdirect?
Because they're definitely kind of like making us want to think that, oh, they're fishy, and like they were actually giving this information out to more nefarious sources.
I mean, Rafa is sus.
She's sus, but I don't know. I just didn't get that vibe. It looked like a robe that the person in the hologram was wearing.
Are we going like full-fledged into this so I could talk about
Let's
all
dive
my
in. We
my
got
theories?
plenty to talk about, but let's dive right in. We're already here.
First of all, did you recognize that droid that was with them?
R7? Yeah.
No? Okay, that's R7.
Yeah.
That's Ahsoka's droid. We know that R7 lived because in the last episode, even though he went down with the Venator...
I totally forgot. Oh my God. Man, that's why I need you, bro.
The Venator goes down, and R7 was there with Ahsoka. So R7 knows everything about the inhibitor chips. When Ahsoka is getting ready to leave on that starship that Rex kind of like puts all the stuff together for her, R7 is stacked up in pieces underneath the starship. So it's assuming, you could assume that she took R7 with her, and either she rebuilt him herself or she gave him the Trace, and Trace was able to put R7 back together. So I would think, yes, they are anti-Empire, but that does not necessarily mean that they are pro-rebellion.
No, good point.
In my opinion. I do think that they have some contact with Ahsoka, considering, it's R7.
I think that was Ahsoka.
You think that was Ahsoka? I mean, they had a fake out like that in Rebels.
I mean, who's it going to be? Jabba the Hutt in a bathrobe?
Pretty sure they did. And then it turns out it was Ahsoka Tano. Well, I mean, one of the popular theories is Bail Organa. That looks like one of his senatorial robes.
I was thinking about that. It could be him too.
Ahsoka immediately goes into hiding for 2 years after the events of the last episode of Clone Wars. That's assuming, I think they talk about it in Rebels, but according to the book, she's in hiding for 2 years.
Then she's definitely... You think they might be retconning the book?
So it wouldn't be her because it's so close. I think they've already have retconned the book.
They might just say, hey...
Pretty sure they did.
Books are for nerds, huh? Let's do the TV with the boom, boom, pow and all this stuff. Boom, boom, pow. Jesus, what am I? Will I am? Anyway, like I was saying... Yeah, that's right. Boomers are going to get that reference.
Another theory is something I brought up last episode of it being Dryden Voss, who's the head, the figurehead of the Crimson Dawn. Just because that also looks like it could be his robes, and he's also specifically anti-Empire, but not necessarily pro-rebellion. I don't even think the rebellion is formed at this point either, so it could be, for all intents and purposes, Dryden Voss. It also could be Darth Maul. That would be a stretch, I think. But the voice actor is coming back. Some people think it might be Quinlan Voss, since that's another character animation that they worked on for the arc that they ended up not using for Clone Wars. So, and then another theory, which is part of the leaks from the toys. So I'm not sure if you want to.
Let's go into the leaks a little later. We're going to give you some leak action, listeners. We're going to do some leak action a little later into this episode. We got a lot more we can cover.
There's 2 more possible people, and it's going to be discussed in the leak section.
Stick around. We got some good leak section for you. Or you can just listen to my theories. You can listen to my theories. I'm pretty much a leaker. My theories, they've been so consistently spot on. You know what I'm saying? Me and Jamie over here, we're Force-seers. We can see the future through the Force. We're ahead of all y'all with our predictions. Look at that. This guy saw all the way up to episode 6 without even, you know what I'm saying? That's impressive. That's impressive. That's further than I went.
This episode, for me, was not as eye-opening.
No?
But yeah, I don't know the Clone Wars as well as you guys do. And so there was nothing in this that like stuck out to me as like, oh, this is definitely going to happen. I don't know who that person is at the end. I don't know half the people you all just talked about. I know like Darth Maul, but like...
Bail Organa?
Yeah,
He's the one
Bail
that takes
Organa.
Baby Leia.
Oh, yeah. Organa.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I guess I know that. I just, like, I guess off the top, when you said it, I don't recognize it. You got to frame it around what happened in the movie.
Yeah, he used to be best friends with Dexter, and then he moved away from Miami, and he started the rebellion. That's how that...
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's how that happened. Yeah, man, I'm being really obscure today with the references. At least one person out there is going to appreciate all this.
That's not obscure. They've got a new season.
I didn't catch
it.
A new season
do.
of Dexter's coming out this year.
They do.
So you're just plugging stuff.
Maybe
that's all right.
Showtime is
So yeah, I don't have any new
I'm
theories
sponsored
right
by
now.
Showtime. Maybe I have a secret deal with them. Golly, that Mayweather fight sure was something. I'm kidding. So,
so yeah, I don't have any particular theories. What about you?
Me personally, I didn't have too. I thought this episode, it didn't give us as much like meat in terms of like foreshadowing. At least nothing that I caught. Right? I didn't really see anything in terms of foreshadowing this episode because it was just such a great action-focused episode. This was a treat for the eyes, dude. There was just so much going on. We're talking like they have just been keeping up this animation level at a very, very high level. This was just really, really good to watch. And you know what? It just felt so good seeing these guys go up against the droids. You know what I mean? And then that little twist that later on when the droids get activated against the other droids. Like, come on, man. That's awesome. It was good time.
It's like fuck the police.
Exactly. What security? No. Look, we may be war criminals, but we're not bootlickers.
And I was on the edge of my seat whenever Omega was about to fall into that pit. Man, because she fell in, and I guess she was on top of some of the metal, and I was like at that moment, I like butt clenching, like, oh no, she fell. Oh, okay, she's fine. And then she's like, oh no, she's not fine. And then fuck. Okay, she saved her.
What makes it seem even worse is that Sid says that she has puny, weak arms at the beginning, and then you're just like, her weak arms, how can she hang on?
Yeah.
But this episode did answer one of like the question that a lot of Star Wars fans has of what the hell happened to all the droids following the Clone Wars? Like, there's no parts of them anywhere. So now we know they all get shipped and get made into fondue, pretty much.
They're just reusing that metal to make Star Destroyers. I don't know. The Dark Troopers. Yes, this is a possibility. We're not ruling that out. I like the idea of the tactical droids being used for intel, specifically by like dark, like crime syndicates to fight back against the Empire, because the Empire is utilizing the clones, so they want to have a tactical advantage against them. It makes perfect sense that the crime syndicates would be the first ones to try to get their hands on that.
That's why I think the Crimson Dawn is going to make their appearance.
I would love that.
Especially because we're at the point where Darth Maul is presumably building it, because we saw that in the Occupation of Mandalore. We saw that. And then, we know Solo's coming up at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And Rebels hasn't happened yet. So he's definitely doing his thing. It's very interesting to see Star Wars planets get retconned for new use. I know that most of the Star Wars fans saw Corellia for the first time during Solo, but you and I specifically remember we used to go to Corellia in Star Wars Galaxies?
We are old heads. We are of the old guard of the Star Wars fans. OG Star Wars Galaxies fans.
Yeah, it seems that...
Remember Corellia? The wonderful fields of Corellia.
The orange fields, and now it's mostly kind of like a factory planet.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see. Jaime's smiling at me like
this
this
nerd.
fucking
This
nerd.
Nerd.
Jaime,
These
I'm telling you, man.
I'm jealous I didn't play those games. Like, I didn't even know they were a thing back
You're the
then.
casual king. You are here. You are just like
So
the guy. You're like, hey, I'm casual. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You feel me? I'm not here for this nerd talk about some video game ain't nobody play. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Casual king.
I watched this episode because they had a lot of bang, bang,
Amen.
pow, pow.
Amen. And that it did.
It's more like shoo shoo.
There's some of these action sequences specifically during that one moment where she says, is there an echo here? And then obviously Echo chimes in that
This is why Echo was created.
This was the
and
long
this is what
haul
he's been
joke.
waiting for during this entire short span of his life.
it's like, this is my moment. This is it. This is why they brought me back.
Echo is my favorite character of the batch.
He's
oh
great.
God, I love him so
Echo.
much.
Love that guy. It made me really feel like how amazing would it be if they ever cast people to do a live action Bad Batch. That'd be wonderful because that armor would look so good in a movie. Their armor is sick. It would look amazing in live action. You would swoon.
I will absolutely tune in to see Maori men in
I'm
live
telling
action.
you, man. Yeah.
Sold. I want it.
I'm right here.
We could both watch. We could do it together. It could be a couple
much is true.
activity.
That much is true.
I don't think I've seen a lot of cosplay for the Bad Batch. I mean, I guess they're
It's brand new.
newer.
The owner of Super 73 has a tech. It doesn't look quite, at least in my opinion. I know like all the elitist boys are going to come after me for that and eat me alive,
Well,
but I don't think it looks
well.
quite right.
They are a little different. I would like to see some stuff. I'll have to look that up.
It's just a matter of like, there weren't a lot of references before, and now we have a
Yeah,
ton more
which is true.
references.
I mean, look, it's a fair point. The first one to cross the line, usually when it comes to a lot of this stuff, when they're making armor, replicas, and all that, usually the first people out of the gates are going to get a couple of the subtle nuances right. They're really not going to be able to get a 1-1 because they don't have as many references, like you said.
Well, you remember the first guy who dressed up as Darth Vader? That suit looked awful.
That's true.
He's the first guy who did it.
That's true. I want
So he
his
lives on an
awful
infamy?
suit
Right.
for the memes. So I would definitely pay for that suit. I'd gladly own it.
By the way, that guy is the father of the guy who owns Bat in the Sun Productions, which does like Batman fan films.
Really?
The guy who dressed up as Darth Vader for the very first time is still in pop culture today,
Man,
making Batman fan
he is
films.
about that
Anyways,
life, huh?
That's a little bit of my fandom.
That's a deep cut.
This is why we have you here, Jaime.
Yeah, y'all want some deep cut Star Wars shit?
Oh, that's right.
I'll bring
Jaime
Batman
is
into
a
it.
resident Batman expert.
Sorry.
So I'm the only one who's not an expert, evidently. We got a seasoned EU veteran, 501st veteran.
You're an actual history expert,
I don't think I
aren't you?
am, but I can sound like a history expert, and I think that's enough.
You're our real life history expert. Julie and I will be our archives of useless
Yes,
shit.
I am a real life history expert. Hello. Yes, my name is Galuzi. I come from a distinguished background of great intellectual discourse of all things historical.
That works on me.
There you go. That's all you got to do. You just got to do a little accent. You got to sauce it up a little bit, and you're fine. Speaking of accents, is anyone else tired of Omega with her little
Absolutely
silly
not.
accent? Because
No.
I'm not tired, not even a little
Anymore.
bit. I love it. I love it. I want her to keep saying things in her funny little accent. I love it.
I love it when she starts acting like a brat. Ugh, it's great.
I don't mind. It's something about me because as a guy, it just triggers my dormant fatherhood instincts.
Some of them Django genes.
So like I'm like useless. It's like that's what I'm saying, bro. And Jaime, when he saw her like almost get Toy Story 3'd, you know what I'm saying? He was like, no, you know what I'm saying? It's that fatherhood instinct that kicked in him as well. Pretty much what I'm saying is that we're part of the Bad Batch, right? Like essentially, like it's the same thing.
We have to wear the colors now,
I'll gladly wear the colors.
so we can look like our little batcher. It's technically we're batchers. That's the term.
Dude, I've never done any cosplay. Batchers. That's true. I gotta
Thanks
get
to
up on
little
that
Omega,
terminology. Yeah,
like 2 episodes
you
ago.
gotta keep me more up to date on that. Yeah, Omega. Oh, we just gotta get either, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a friend who's short enough. He could probably be Omega. You could probably talk him into it. I don't have a daughter, so I'll just use my friends.
As long as they could do the voice, that's all that
That's
matters.
what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna cosplay as Moochie.
Hell yeah.
Moochie. I
I'll
love
cosplay
Moochie.
as
I'm gonna not
Luke.
have that reaction.
That's right. Luke Skywalker, that mass murdering bastard, killed Moochie.
I could do
Never
Tech
gonna forgive him.
or Echo.
I now sympathize.
Tech is like
with-
6'4". I'm not sure if you guys have seen any of the stuff that's come out for his character.
Are they really that tall?
So I think Tech is as tall as Wrecker, if not taller, and Hunter is the shortest one. I think Hunter is like 5'11", and then everyone else is taller than him.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, Jaime's got to be. He's
Jaime's
got to
even
be
Googling.
Tech. He's got the glasses like ready. He's got the look down. If anything, I'm Wrecker, just because I'm big. Wrecker. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that. Oh, why are you guys having all the fun?
Can I be
You know,
Sid? I want to
there
be
you go.
rude to people and
It's
have
over.
a lot of money
I can be.
and a lot of junk in my office. Or I could be one of the hecklers.
There you go.
Somebody's gonna be a drunk heckler.
You're Omega.
No, I don't have the genuine naivety to be Omega. She's too pure.
Yeah, and you're a rotten, corrupt.
Yeah, you're definitely
soul.
Sid.
I
You
can
wouldn't-
definitely be
it just
bought.
wouldn't work.
Everything has a price.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think you're the person in the robe at the end of this episode. You know what? Now that you pointed out to me, you made that connection that at R7. You know what I'm saying? Because that totally slipped by me 100%. I don't know, man. I think that might be Ahsoka. I think they're just gonna go all in. Look, if there's 3 things that Dave Filoni just absolutely cannot wait. He's just drooling to throw them into a Star Wars project. It's gonna be number 1, Ahsoka. Number 2, Mandalorians. Number 3,
I mean, it's
Darth
coming in
Maul.
the leaks. In the leak section. We'll have that discussion then.
We got some leaks for who's coming. Ooh, that's preemptive. That is preemptive as hell.
I'm trying to tempt
So,
all the viewers into the dark side.
Let's discuss a little more. No. Oh, they're coming. They're gonna join us. They're gonna be here for the ride. Trust me. Let's cut into some more of this meat that we
Trace
got from
and
this
Rafa?
episode. Some of the action sequence, right?
They're so annoying, but I love them so much.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like they totally fit in so properly in this series and this episode. It was nice to see them come back. Because in the first one, I will agree with some of the Star Wars community that their introduction in the last season of Clone Wars, it felt like, why now, man? We got so much we want to cover, so many unfinished storylines. Yeah, totally. I totally see that frustration 100%. And I kind of felt the same way. Because some of the storylines, I didn't know, but some of the storylines that were cut from it, I was like, oh man, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing to have in this final season. It would have made it like that, like that nth degree better.
Yeah, but now that we know why, like some of that
See,
anger
Trace
is
and
gone.
Rafa. Exactly. Yeah, it's what I say. Give it some time. Give it some time. And the people become more receptive. Then they're like, yeah, maybe I kind of do like this character a little bit. I mean, they got
The
sick
undercut.
haircuts, so right off the bat, they're fresh as hell. Yeah, they look like plumbers in this episode, sure, because they were not dripped out at all.
But the makeup on point.
The drip was like abysmal this episode, pero se perdona. Oh, of course, no, the makeup game was on point. They were still fresh as hell. You know what I'm saying? They're dressed like plumbers, but they stopped by the barber before the mission. These ladies, they know how to keep it together for a mission, even though they're dressed like construction
They
workers.
seem to know what they're doing too, compared to last time.
Exactly. So like the Among Us duo, we're introduced to them again. Both of them were sus this time, but neither were the imposter. And they absolutely, I think it meshed well. I like the good
The
back
Hunter
and
and
forth.
Rafa.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. It was nice. It was good stuff. Look, hey guys, I know some people might feel like it's a little childish, some of the stuff in this, but guys, come on. Come on. You gotta give the kids a bone here.
It's par for the course of how Rafa acts, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how they had that change of heart. That's what makes me think, like, you know what?
I thought Trace was gonna leave Omega.
Look, man, if they're giving this data to the homie from Crimson Dawn, I don't think they would have stopped to help Omega.
Point. Like I said, the Crimson Dawn, he is anti-Empire. He's not pro-rebellion. I don't think there's, the rebellion is officially formed yet.
You can make an argument that that's the case with almost everybody, though. Specifically the crime syndicates, the wealthy. At least in the lore department, I gotta hand it. To Disney and the Star Wars, the story group. I gotta hand it to them. I mean, some of these storylines have been shaky, to say the least. But the lore has been pretty rock solid for the most part, from what I can tell. Because they've been pretty thematically consistent across the board with a lot of stuff. I mean, say what you will about episode 9, but some of the lore expansion in that movie was really good if you dive into it. I'm just saying, guys, there's some good stuff in there, but that's a conversation. Or a vicious, bloody argument for another day.
Now that I think about it, in the episode, Rafa says patch him through, but it very well could have been patch him through instead of patch him through, even though like the closed caption says him, but that's wrong sometimes. Closed caption.
This episode.
Yeah. So maybe it is Ahsoka, especially considering, R7 has the information about 5's inhibitor chips. That's what they're contacting Ahsoka Tano about. So yeah, it might be Ahsoka. Wrecker's inhibitor chip turning on, I feel like it wouldn't be as rewarding if we don't get a Jedi before the end of the season. So
I'd agree with that.
Maybe this is the reintroduction of Ahsoka.
It's like how you brought it up last time. If they do go with the inhibitor trip stuff, a Jedi's presence is going to trigger it, or a Force sensitive's presence would trigger it. It's still in and out on Wrecker, so we don't know if they're actually going to really dive into that and yet. I think they're going to save that for a little later on in the season for sure, since we got a lot of episodes left, guys. We got a lot of show left to cover. So I'm excited about that because I feel like we've already had so much, specifically with that massive first episode. And we got quite a bit down the pipeline. We got 10 episodes. We're not even halfway there.
I wonder if the last episode is going to be extended, or if it's like, is that a leak?
Oh, I hope it is.
I hope so too. I hope it's another.
I am pulling up a tweet that I wanted to bring up.
I hope it's a big beefy one. The episode, not the tweet. All I get is 240 characters tops with the tweet, but with an episode, I can get 240 minutes. No, they won't do that. That's too much. But if maybe, I don't know. That'd be a lot for an episode. That's a movie, dude. That's a long movie. That's a long ass movie. What is that? It's like a Lord of the Rings extended movie. But I'd watch it happily. I'm a big believer that if something is entertaining enough, specifically like something like Star Wars, you tell me I'm in for a 4-hour movie or a 3-hour movie, I'm not exactly going to be disappointed. How many people sat through all of Endgame? You know what I mean? They sat through that movie happily.
I also watched the new Justice League, which was long. It was awful, but I still watched it.
That's a long one. It's long, dude. It was really long, but you watched the whole thing, right? Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so a June 5th tweet from Joel Aaron, who is the VFX supervisor for the Clone Wars, Rebels, and Bad Batch, claims that starting next week, I'm not sure if this means this coming episode or like next calendar week, the second half of the season, it's going to be fantastic compared to everything before. So, this is where all the Baraka scenes that still haven't been aired are going to come in, come to play. And
all right,
my other theory, which we can't discuss yet.
I'll say one thing and then we'll go into the leaks. Just one little thing. All right, guys. So we ourselves, we've done 6 episodes up till now. And Bad Batch has had 6 episodes up till now. Right? One thing that I've definitely heard from some people that have been I've spoken to about the show, some of our listeners, they've mentioned that the show feels like it's just too episodic. Like it's in every other episode type of thing, you know, like the in-betweens and all that. Yeah. So I've had some people that I speak to, they feel like, man, it's like they feel like one episode is really good and then the next one's really boring and then the next one's really good and then the next
So they feel like we're getting fillers now.
And that's how they feel about it. Like it's kind of fillery, but it's not really fillery. This show has been particularly very good about keeping the momentum moving forward constantly. Even though you could, I guess, if you want to be really, really, really extreme about it, you could probably say that some of these episodes have been a little fillery.
Okay.
In that it's just little side quests that are ultimately not really pushing the core plot forward. And I get that. But you got to look at it from this perspective, everybody. Let's look at it like this. Look at how the themes are progressing. Look at how they're doing characterization. Because right now, they're not really moving the plot forward. These guys are in a flux. These guys are soldiers that have been thrown into a galaxy that they don't know what to do with right now. So they're just giving it a little time to breathe and figure themselves out. And as such, look at the characters now and who they are now versus who they were when we first met them and who they were even in the first episode of this season so far. Same thing with Omega. Look at that progression with them. Some of my favorite shows of all time, they do this, where you have a sort of almost an adventure of the week type thing, right? What that does is that gives you time to sit with these characters, to marinate a little bit. You know what I mean? It lets these characters kind of rub off on you and you kind of get used to them and you like them. You get to know them a little more, right? You have happy times with them, right? That's what these adventure of the week set pieces are kind of like. And that has huge payoff for when the plot starts moving fast. Because when the plot starts moving, now you're really attached to these characters. And if something happens to any of these characters that's sad, it's going to feel way more sad because you're going to look back on the good old days when they were just adventuring throughout the galaxy, vibing, you know what I'm saying, smashing their heads against metal, getting concussions, good old times. You know what I'm saying? Making puns about their name, Echo. Good times. Gonna look back on those moments and it's gonna make you feel different. You're gonna get that emotional attachment to these characters so that by the time the plot starts getting, and inevitably everybody dies because Palpatine pulls up and he murders them all and he says, I clapped. That's the final episode. Sorry guys, I got into the leaks a little early, but
that's just gonna be the last scene of the episode. Or the last shot of the episode is just like a close up and he's bragging about clapping.
Exactly. Brought to you by Trojan.
You got me going there,
anyway,
man.
Let's get into Well, look, okay, up until that last bit, everything I said was true. All right, it's true. You're going to get used to these characters because now you're going to have these moments where the dad batch and the sad batch and the bad batch and the bargain batch and the bargain bin and all these guys,
and the nab batch.
The Toy Story 4, the nab batch and the, what is it, the grab batch, the what's the next week batch. It's going to be the dab batch. I don't know, dude. Probably the rice pad batch, whatever.
I mean, if they ever dab in an episode, that's it.
I was thinking of a different kind of dab than Jaime did, and he even did like the gesture. And I was like, no, I'm thinking about weed.
You corrupt, horrible influence. There are literal 5-year-olds listening to this.
Welcome to the rice fields.
No, they left. It's fine. They left. But anyway, like I was saying, right now you got to look at it this way. They're laying the groundwork. They're building the foundation. All right, you can't build the roof of the house without a floor.
The Bad Batch so far has been a lot better than Clone Wars in terms that it's a very linear story. Like Clone Wars was all over the place. It wasn't in order. Like you go from season 1 to season 4 to season 2 to season 7. Like it's all over the place. The Bad Batch arc doesn't even take place at, where we think it does. It takes place, I think, not that long after Echo dies. The Clone Wars is only 3 years. But anyways, Echo dies for the first time because we don't know what happens.
Yeah, and then he just pulls up again. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah, it's a little fillery, but, we have learned important things with each episode. And we also have to keep in mind is that there is undoubtedly going to be another animated Star Wars series coming afterwards. So they have to take the time to flesh some of the characters out that they're going to carry through. Because I would not doubt that Trace and Rafa are going to either be used again in this series or possibly whatever series is coming next.
Absolutely. And they don't get this good at animation, so to just
to throw it away.
Call it a day and pack up shop.
Or to like waste it all on little droids.
This animation is looking good. Yep. No doubt. All right, everybody. So now we dive into the leaks.
All right. Where do we want to go to?
This is your chance. You can turn it off. Actually, just turn the volume down. Let's keep the play analytics going. Finish listening to this, but don't listen to it. Put your phone in the other room. Okay? And also put us on repeat when you go to sleep at night. Continue. Where are we going into the leaks?
All right. So, new toys have come out. And we have one of the more obvious things, kind of like Echo's new hand and some of the things he does. Tech is getting a vehicle. And a character whom is Dave Filoni's favorite is coming back. Bo-Katan has her own figurine for the Bad Batch series. Yeah.
There you go. What I tell y'all. He can't help himself. He's got to throw some Mandalorians in anything.
So my theory is we're actually going to see the Imperial occupation of Mandalore towards the end of the episodes after the whole Braca. So I think we're going to see Braca next. We're going to see Rex. And then we're going to go back to Mandalore. And I think Ahsoka is going to return back to Bo-Katan. Because she was helping them try to get Mandalore back. Now, I don't think Ahsoka's going to go straight into hiding. I think she's going to go back to the Mandalorians, find Bo-Katan, and after this whole Imperial siege of Mandalore happens, she is going to help Ahsoka go into hiding again. And that's my theory. Another theory is because we're going to see the Imperial siege of Mandalore, we might get Moff Gideon and how he came possession to the Darksaber.
Ooh, that is an excellent point because we don't know how he came into possession of it. You think it might be a little early for him to come into possession of it, or you think he was just kind of hoarding it and just vibing on the side,
Bo-Katan clearly loses it at one point, and then she spent the past, I think, it's 30 years before the events of The Mandalorian, so it could be this is what kicks off, and this is how Moff Gideon gets the Darksaber, and he's been holding on for it all this time, or Gar Saxon takes it from Bo-Katan, and then Moff Gideon somehow takes it from Gar Saxon. We don't know. I guess we'll find out. I thought it was going to be kind of like the rest of the episodes, them working as mercenaries, but they clearly do not have the moral compass for it. I think Sid is now going to turn on them because they didn't finish, the mission they were sent off, and she's going to give the information to Fennec. And we're going to see Fennec again because Sid pretty much rats them out to get some money.
These guys are unlucky, man. They're just getting snitched on by everybody. It's like everybody's in their business. They're just trying to vibe. Maybe they could try picking up a part-time job or something at a diner. They can just visit, Dex?
Oh, Dex on Coruscant. They can't exactly go back there.
Yeah, no, that's true. Too high profile. But, maybe they can do a diner somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? The Bad Batch diner. Get a bad batch of eggs. Whatever, A
batch of eggs.
All right. I give up. Go ahead.
Eggs in a basket. No, eggs in a batch. So my other two theories about who this cloaked person could be. One of them is Bo-Katan because she wears a cloak over her armor in season 7 of Clone Wars when they're kind of watching what Ahsoka's doing. And also in the art of one of the toys, one of Wrecker's action figures, they show a clone trooper wearing some kind of poncho. So all we see is the shoulder down to the fingers, and he's clearly wearing a poncho. So whoever that is, yes, it's a clone trooper. So he's wearing clone armor, white armor. We don't see. I do not think that it's blue. People think it's Rex, which could be kind of a logical conclusion because we are getting Rex, and that's confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
true.
So
people think the covered figure is Rex, but we don't know. So that person could be who Rafa is talking to.
Do we have 6 possible people right now?
True.
Yeah, well, Bail Organa, Dryden Voss, Quillen Voss maybe, or Darth Maul. So that's kind of a stretch. We know the voice actor is coming back. However, the voice actor does Darth Maul, also does Palpatine, and Palpatine has already done some lines. So that could kind of be gone.
Darth Maul could not be.
Yeah, or Ahsoka and Rex. I don't know if I'm missing anyone.
I mean, that maybe Ahsoka is the misdirect. Maybe you're right. I think you know what, you could be right about that. I think it could be Rex. because then that would be like the perfect misdirect. R7, you would think, oh, Ahsoka, but R7 has just as much of a tie to Rex as Ahsoka, specifically towards the end there. So it could work.
It could be Rex. Like it would explain the poncho trooper on Rex's art.
I mean,
box art.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it could be. Look,
could be Wolf. Could be Gregor.
I'm just gonna say it's obviously Obi-Wan, but because Obi-Wan got some more armor to hide even more efficiently.
Obi-Wan's already on Tatooine, being a hermit. He's probably hit.
No, Obi-Wan is butt naked on Tatooine, aging as fast as he possibly can.
He's probably building his little hut.
That guy's just sunbathing every day. That's why he looks. Would he build it with the Force?
I don't know. Maybe he just summons it from like the sand, the same way the Emperor summons all these like hundreds of thousands of Star Cruiser.
I was reading this week that people who live off the grid,
the Cave of Wonders.
I was reading this week that people who live off the grid age faster because they're out in the sun and they're working and they're using their bodies harder and they don't have AC and heat and stuff, so it's harder on their bodies. So that's probably, what's happening to him is he's living off the grid in Tatooine
with 2 sons.
Yeah, with 2 sons. So he's definitely aging too quick, and that's science.
Yeah, man, that's what it is, science. And you said, who said Star Wars wasn't scientific, huh? Exactly. I don't think he's doing the Cave of Wonders thing that Julie was talking about over here, summoning the Cave of Wonders like Aladdin or something. That's his hut. No, he built it by hand like the disciplined Jedi that he is. Or he maybe cheated a little bit, maybe he lifted a little bit of rocks using the Force for fun as a treat.
Maybe blackmailed some Jawas.
But definitely, maybe, I don't know. He doesn't seem the type to blackmail. I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, he's very persuasive, so you never know. He might have just gotten a hut for free.
He's incredibly persuasive. He's got that magic persuasion thing. True. Oh, I don't think he paid for it. I don't think he owns the deed.
Yeah, I don't think he has
hut.
a chain code. His credits are no good.
Obi-Wan is a squatter. But anyway, what else? We got any more leaks? Got any more leak action going on? Because I think that leak helped us cheat our way to figuring out that that's Rex. I'm sold. I'm sold on Rex. I think it's Rex, man.
I think it's Rex too.
I didn't even think about that, but it's the perfect segue into the next scene.
I just want some fucking Bo-Katan,
because
man.
It's like a double whammy,
Let's
Mr.
get
Rex.
some Bo-Katan. I don't care about anything else now.
We're gonna get Bone Baton, don't worry. She's gonna pop up with all her infinite moisturizer and all that. You see, that's how we know. Thanks to Jaime over here, we now know that Bone Baton stayed her ass in the AC in her fancy little armor, and that's why her
You think she has AC in her helmet?
And that's why Obi-Wan looks like ass. Probably. She's royalty, bro.
I hope all of the stormtroopers do. Jesus.
I don't know. Finn was hella swelly.
No, not all of them.
In all his scenes.
My God.
So.
Oh, yeah. He was
drenched.
Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, they put John Boyega in the desert in a stormtrooper outfit. Even if they didn't want him to sweat, that wasn't going to last very long. They could have wiped him down right before that shot. 2 seconds later, it's just drenched again. No way.
Like, some of it just wasn't all that interesting. Like, just more crosshair figures. Tex gets some kind of vehicle thing that he builds or something. I don't know. It's weird looking.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, so Tech and the Fast and Furious 9 crossover promotional tour is on your way.
I don't know what the hell is going on with him, man.
Nice to know.
It's just like I hope next episode is all
Vin
just
Diesel.
Like, I don't know. I want to know what's going on with Task Force.
We got plenty of time. We got a good amount of episodes left. I think
10 episodes to make it a Mandalore.
They can do it, especially if they start playing by their own rules and making these episodes a lot longer.
I believe it. They just
because you can technically divide up that first episode into 3.
Finished the score this past week for like the last episodes too. So they're still working on it while everything was airing.
Oh, that's interesting.
They said it's going to be a very emotional.
Oh,
ending.
I guess that is common. That does happen a lot. Oh, that's it. You already know. The Bad Batch is getting clapped.
And not in a pleasurable
Palpatine
way.
claps. And I'm telling you, it's they're not getting clapped. They're in the Palpy sense. They're getting clapped in the horrible kill death ratio sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they're lagging in the like Moochie, but full grown Moochie. You know, just slamming them down. Who do you think is gonna die? I think we're losing Hunter.
I would be so pissed if we lose Echo again.
I say we lose all of them except Crosshairs.
No, let's just all of them except Echo.
But he's redeemed by the end of it.
He'll be redeemed and then killed immediately.
He'll be sacrificed.
Yeah.
That is his redemption.
Sucks. What are they gonna?
He's gonna kiss somebody, and then he's gonna.
They're gonna Ben Solo.
Fall asleep and never wake up again.
He's gonna kiss Echo,
and then find out that they're brothers. Oh.
No, he's gonna kiss Hunter. Echo's gonna kiss Tech. Wrecker is gonna be too concussed to move by that point. He will physically lose all motor skills by the time the end of the season rolls around. If he keeps getting clobbered the way he's getting his head hit every episode at the rate he's going. Will Smith is about to make a movie about him and the concussion rate on this guy at the rate he's going right now. I think if it's going to be an emotional ending, then this may in fact be the only Bad Batch season we get, and they were in fact telling us the truth. I'm disinclined. I think that if there's enough story to go with, they'll make another one. But if their goal is to really wrap it up, they'd certainly have chosen a lengthy season number. I mean, 16 episodes is a lot. It could just be that. They could just be trying to wrap up the whole thing.
I think we might see the next series, I guess, leading up to either where the Cassian Andor. No, so I think the next season will end up going up until, I guess, Rogue One takes place, where the rebellion is formed. Or no, I guess that's way too late. So I think we'll see the formation of the rebellion in some shape or form in the next animated series.
I mean, if we do get another animated series, I think it's safe to say that it's probably going to be prequel era. They seem to really enjoy prequel era for animation, with the exception of Rebels. But I mean, Rebels technically is prequel.
Yeah, Rebels is prequel. I would say so. Same way I would say Rogue One is prequel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rogue One is definitely prequel. Prequel Memes has claimed it, and they are the definitive authority on the prequels. So they've claimed Rogue One, no doubt. So there's that. I don't think we're gonna get any more animated stuff for the sequel era.
That seems to be
soon. Right now, I think
live
the only
action domain
era stuff we're getting is live action. Yeah, which, hey, more power to them. If they can do patchwork for it and give me badass Mandalorian armor and stuff like that, live action, shit, sign me up. I'm good. I'm
They've been
happy
confirming
to see
bounty hunters appearing in, like, Empire Strikes Back. Bounty hunters appearing in the Book of Boba Fett, so I'm pretty excited. We officially have Bosk on board.
Oh, hell yeah!
Which is, he's the big Trandoshan in the yellow jumpsuit.
Oh, you love to see it. Yeah, they gotta do Bosk.
And then the latest comic book.
Jamie, a Trandoshan is a giant lizard.
That's what Sid is.
Okay, because you're the casual. You're the casual king. So we're getting Trandoshan. Imagine if Chris Bosch was actually a lizard.
I was literally just thinking, like, the original trilogy, all these nerds went through and gave every single character that you saw in those movies an actual name and backstory, and that's what y'all are talking about right now.
Yes.
Nerds.
Oh, my friend, this is
Speaking of nerds from the original trilogy.
All right, the nerds go deep. They are passionate.
Moochie has sparked some controversy online because she got retconned.
Question the queen. What are these?
She had another friend, or she had another name.
What are these cretins saying about her empress, her highness?
That meant a friend in Huttese. I think it was Patusa or something. I don't know. I'm not good with the pronunciation. Don't quote me. Let me Google this so we can do right by Moochie.
All right. So there was a little bit of a retcon on the
it
Rancor
could be one
name.
of those, like, because the Rancor was kind of their pet. So, like, I call my cat, 5 different names. Bitch.
I can't find what they named Moochie originally, but all I know is, like, it's not the name that she has now. And the fanboys were angry. They're like, of all the things you could have retconned. And Moochie was also a male, and they were very upset about that. Now she's a female. Because they're like, too many girls. Why does it...
Fanboys, come on. Fanboys, come on. Listen to me real quick, guys. Come on. There's no one else is listening. It's just you and me, fanboys. Are we really gonna complain about this? Come on, guys. Let's really think about this. It's a monster that Luke kills with a fucking bone in its mouth. Guys, come on. It's not that serious. Don't worry about it. Let the ladies have the Rancor. All right? We have, like, everything else. How many women are in the Bad Batch? I don't think Wrecker's trans, so, you know, Wrecker looks like a dude to me. That says, okay, so we got how many dudes in the Bad Batch? Oh, all of them. Okay. How many women were in the clone army? Oh, they were all clones of the same one guy. Oh, damn, they didn't even variate the clones. Okay. How many people blew up the Death Stars? Oh, shit. All the Death Stars were blown up by men? Not a single woman got a shot in on these Death Stars? There were like 5 of them. All of them got clapped by men? Damn. All right, well, let's see. What else we got here? Who killed the Emperor? Oh, a dude. A robot guy.
Arya Stark.
So not fully a man, but a man. A man. Arya Stark killed the Emperor in episode 9. I remember I saw that. She came out from the darkness.
About Rey?
Let's not race.
She's a woman.
Oh yeah, that's right. The one time a woman killed anything in Star Wars, and she fucking died immediately. She didn't even like get to say, "Wow, the galaxy saved. We did it, everyone." No, she just immediately died without a second to breathe. She just boop, immediately just drops dead. All right. Lando, what? He nuked a giant death machine in the sky and he got to yell Yahoo and no problems with him. Vader got to have a whole ass conversation with his son, you know, after he got fried in the face by Palpatine. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put things into perspective. What happened to Rey? Yeah, she returned all that evil hatred and killed the Sith Lord and all that, right? She, representing and embodying all the Jedi, killed all the Sith. Yeah, all right, cool. She immediately died. Like, immediately. Right? And then Homeboy had to come up from the ground and res her. But he wasted all his mana. So he got clapped instantly. Right? A dude had to give his life literally to bring her back. But she died. That's the one W women have in the Star Wars universe. In the overall scheme of things. Let them have the damn Rancor. Let them have the big, ugly, drooling
She's beautiful,
beast.
excuse you.
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine, fanboys. Excuse me. When I say ugly, I mean gorgeous. Okay? Thank you. I'm not here to make sense. Not all the time, at least. I should not have said such a thing about our wonderful, beautiful Empress. Her Royal Highness, Moochie. Moochie body pillows for sale at the end of the season.
No, I want to
Let me
like
know
one
if
of
you're
those
interested.
Moochie squishables that everybody's getting at like Costco.
Like a
That'd be
giant
great.
plush. I like me that baby
It's
Rancor,
cute as
man.
hell.
That was a cool idea.
Or we should get
I like how I like how they're diving
we
into
should
the
get
lore.
Rock'em Sock'em Bop. It's like
Yeah.
little figurines and it's Wrecker versus Moochie. I think that'd be cute as hell. If I see this pop up at Galaxy's Edge, I'm gonna be hella jealous.
I'm just gonna get a punching
And
bag,
they
but
stole
it's
my idea.
oh yeah, they'll do it. Well, they're listening, so they already stole the idea. If anything, at the very
Yeah.
least, you get bragging rights.
Heard it here first.
So enjoy that. I'm gonna get a punching bag that's just gonna be Wrecker's
Aw.
head.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. It's the most punchable thing in the galaxy. He doesn't get concussed. He just starts, thinking about murdering Jedi. But who doesn't think about murdering the Jedi every now and then?
Speaking of another
in the
Star Wars lady.
galaxy.
Someone has officially made a return in the comics. I know it has nothing to do with the Bad Batch,
Who?
but why not? We love the ladies here.
Cruella
Anyways,
DeVille?
Kira comes back.
Oh, Kira. That was my second guess.
Our beautiful Amelia Clark, which
she's
means
back.
Disney isn't done with her. I hope to God we get a live action series.
Oh, that'd be... See, that's... look, I'm excited for Cassian Andor, but if I had to choose between that or Kira... I'm sorry, guys. We have a lot of grubby loner dudes in the Star Wars universe that we followed up to this point. I'm sorry. I'm making the point. Hey, listen, you might be thinking, hey, Galoozy, what are you doing? You're thinking with your penis. You can't just be talking. Shut up! Let me think with my penis for a minute. I want some Amelia Clark live action. Hell yeah. Sign me up. I don't know
Not
Diego
at the
Luna.
expense of Diego
I
Luna.
never spoke to the
Listen.
guy. But it is a price I am willing to pay. There you go. Casual King speaks on behalf of the people, and then he has spoken. I agree. Why can't we have both? Maybe I'm greedy, but I want both. I'm not done with Amelia Clark. I want more of her in my life, and I think that the character Kira is something that we could definitely explore so much more of. A female anti-hero a la Ventress, but a Han Solo female anti-hero. It's some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? She was trained with the Teräs Kasai, however the hell you want to pronounce it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, but I want to see her kick Darth Maul to the curb.
Consider it,
and
Lucasfilm.
Be like the ultimate Star Wars girl boss.
Imagine if like they have like a love story.
I'm down for it. Mm-hmm.
Like some forbidden
she
evil
could romance anyone and I'd
daddy love story. Hell yeah. But then he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a forbidden thing. And then she's torn between that and her desire for Han. The call back to her past.
She's already romanced one too many fuckboys. Let Kira be Kira. That's what I gotta say.
Let Kira romance as many men as she wants. Okay, I'm not here for your archaic take on women and what they do. All right, that's right, you bigot.
I will.
Sorry, couldn't keep a straight face. Alrighty, I'm telling you, I think it would be phenomenal. I see Lucasfilm giving us tons of these stories down the road. Obviously, some new stuff is always preferable. There's so much to the Star Wars universe that is left to be explored, and it can be explored. It doesn't always have to be clones and Empire and all that. It's sometimes it needs to be some scruffy guy trying to make his way through the galaxy without, being a
simple man trying to make his way through the universe.
Connected to Han Solo. Yeah, he could be a slightly more complicated man trying to make his way through just a galaxy, not the universe. Give me a story about a janitor on Exegol. Tell me what that guy's life is like. He's surrounded by religious cultists, but he's just kind of trying to vibe on his own and clean things up. But everyone makes it really difficult because they're all dusty monsters. You know what I mean? Yeah. What about a doctor who gets caught up in clone science?
I mean, we kind of got that with Short and Scrawny in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's true. But what if we make him a good guy? What if we make a doctor who's a good guy and his research gets caught up and used and all that against his will? There's so many different... You know what the thing about Star Wars is? We can tell so many kinds of stories. And obviously we're focused on the war aspect, right? But war itself is much more complicated than just pew pew pew, right? There's so many things that come into play in the grand scheme of things when it comes to war, right? And all these different factors, the economics of it. That's one of the more boring sequences of The Last Jedi was the Canto Bight stuff. And it's unfortunate because, it's actually rather interesting to consider the fact that, yeah, you're always going to have people that are playing both sides and making tons of money. Because war profiteering is a real thing. It's probably the most lucrative business on the planet, if we're being honest, right? But it's something that a lot of people don't think about. And there's, like I said, there's so many aspects to war that you can explore, right? So scientists getting, caught up in the mix, getting their research confiscated and used for the worst, stuff like that. You can do a story with that. You can tell all kinds of stories. I think Star Wars would benefit greatly from exploring different genres of storytelling, right, within that Star Wars universe. I think that would be phenomenal. I think it could explore and expand the universe in more well-rounded ways than just giving me a million Jango Fett stories. You know what I mean? Not that I don't want a million Jango Fett stories. Please keep them coming. I'm just saying, there's so much you could come up with for the Star Wars universe. Like my super secret screenplay that I'm not letting anyone ever have. That one. Ooh, let me tell you. Fire. Absolutely fire. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. Tune in next week. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm kidding. I'm not.
I think that's it for
How about that,
episode.
Huh? Absolutely. I yelled at you. I called you a bigot. I defended Moochie. Yeah, well, great times. Great times. Who didn't love it?
That.
I was clearly being honest. I'm kidding. Absolutely. How'd you feel about this episode overall? Huh?
It was good. It was good. I'm looking forward to more.
I loved it. I loved it. Jaime, Jamie.
I had a good time. A good time.
A good time. That's right. The casual king speaks.
Choke Rafi and Trace, or Rafa, Dumb and Dumber, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think Rafa. Rafa. Oh my God! In Spanish, that sounds way more wild. Rafa.
I mean, they're like
Oye, Rafa. Oye, dímelo.
they are Latina Star Wars girls, so like they could be very well pronounced like
There
that.
you go. They are our Latina queens. Rafa y Trace. Are they kind of Latin inspired?
I think
maybe
so.
They could.
They're called Martez,
Maybe. I
the
don't know.
Martez sister.
Damn, yeah, that's true. Wow. I didn't think about that. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, so Rafa Martinez. You know what I mean? All right, that works.
They probably come from the same place Diego Luna and Oscar Isaac's characters come from.
No, absolutely.
The unexplained
Absolutely.
Latin America.
Space Mexico. Yeah, Space Mexico, adjacent to Space Boston. Yes.
In
Yes.
Space Australia.
I cannot wait for Space Boston. Space Australia. We don't know. We never go there. It's in the unknown region. Okay.
It's in the outer
It's
rim.
too dangerous over there. It's past that outer rim. It's 100% out there. You see, like people who grew up on Tatooine, they're like, no, we don't go over there.
Yeah, bueno, thanks for tuning in this week. We're gonna wrap it up.
Absolutely. Let's wrap it up. Julie, punch it.
Thank you for tuning in.
And hashtag palp claps.